This has Buccaneer fans very concerned after a long week of trying to figure out how to solve special teams problems. The Bucs coaches and players have come out in response to what they're going to be doing, if anything, and Bucs fans are trying to figure out whether this should be something that we're going to have to worrying about every single week, or the team in themselves has actually found a solution. I'm Sebastian with Buccaneers Digest. Welcome back, everybody. Not our most favorite topic to talk about for sure, because this is a problem that's been really annoying us, frustrating us, and quite frankly lost us the game last week and has been putting us in bad situations all season. It's time to really kind of like dive in a little bit on what's going on here. Is this kind of something that's going on across the league, which it is, but is this more indicative of a league-wide problem or a team problem? And we'll be breaking that down here, right here. But make sure to subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. We're building an amazing community. So thankful to everyone who's already subscribed, but it's free, so don't worry. You're totally not missing anything. But soon, with memberships that we're adding, that you can start joining, we have different levels, and you will start getting exclusive videos for yourselves. You'll have your own stickers. You'll get priority on live streams, all that good stuff. But feel free to subscribe in the meantime, just to get notified. We'll be doing a live stream for the Seahawks Bucs game on Sunday, 4:05 p.m. Eastern. All that good stuff. So be there for that for sure. Well, let's just jump into this, because this is a topic I've been holding off, wanting to see if they're going to address it during the week. They finally did yesterday a little bit, so I do want to kind of see what's going on here, and we'll kind of dive through it together. So we have ourselves Riley Dixon talking about, you could say clearly the ball needs to be gone faster because it wasn't gone fast enough. The unique part about punting is it can always be better. So he is addressing a little bit of the fact that, listen, he is aware that there have been now 2 blocked punts in this season, and overall they came in pretty crucial situations. One to start out a game against the defending champs, the Eagles, and another in the fourth quarter that really could have turned the tide if the Bucs didn't have some heroics near the end of that game. And then obviously there's also the blocked field goal that happened against the Jets. It's just been constant worries and failings by the special teams, whether it was Chase at the beginning having the yips and missing some chip shot field goals, or now it's blocks happening every week. It's something that has to be addressed, and we've gifted our opponents 7 points because of these blocked kicks in the past 2 weeks, and that's something we cannot allow against another good defense we'll be going up against with the Seahawks. It's just something that can't happen. They have to make it a goal that we are not allowing this, and I'm sure that it's on their goal. We were talking about it even before the Eagles game, not allowing it to happen, and then it did at the beginning of the game. So, our special teams coordinator, Thomas McGoffey, said his get-off time is not real slow. If you go back and you look at a lot of punts he's had blocked, it ain't about nothing to do about him. Listen, I understand he is protecting his players. He's protecting, what these guys are doing, and he doesn't want to put, the blame on anybody but himself. And, but the thing is, his specific past with coaching special teams, especially, going back to 2019 and such, he actually was, tied for one of the most blocked special teams units in the league. And now we have him, for whatever reason, leading our special teams unit. This clearly is a problem with his special teams guys. Now, it's not all on him. We do know that they've talked about just how the offensive line being shifted around, missing some guys. That's just going to, straight up affect how much that they can block, the opposing special teams unit. But they have to be more on it. They have to, whether it's spending extra time, finding different offensive linemen who are more equipped for special teams, whatever it takes, because, we cannot afford to be giving up, either great field position or points on the special teams constantly week after week. If it happens once a season, once or even twice in a season, it's one thing. But if this becomes a consistent problem, which we're seeing week after week it is, then we're going to be dealing with something that's going to bite us in the butt when we're in the playoffs. And, you have to be, performing on all 3 phases if you're trying to win a Super Bowl, much less, getting to the playoffs and everything. So I just think that There has to be a bit more accountability with this. Scott Smith, Buccaneers senior writer, had to say the Buccaneers got a disturbingly wide range of outcomes from their special team snaps against the Eagles in Week 4. On the positive side, kicker Chase McLaughlin set a franchise record with a stunning 65-yard field goal and was also good from 58 and 42. In addition, punt returner Cameron Johnson had 100 yards on 6 runbacks, including gains of 46 and 27 yards that got the ball across midfield. On the negative side, though, the Buccaneers had a kick blocked for the third week in a row, this time a Riley Dixon punt that was rejected and returned for a touchdown just 2 minutes into the game. In addition, the Bucs kickoff return unit failed to provide much running room. So punt returns are good. Punting themselves is not good. Kicking the ball was good in terms of field goals, but kickoff returns was not good. So it's all over the place right now. Maybe we need to put Johnson back there instead of having Sean Tucker as our main kickoff return guy. I get it, he's explosive, but it doesn't seem like he's able to break through on those kickoffs. So that's something to consider at least in that sense. Riley Dixon also had to say just regarding just everything. He said, I know what it's supposed to look like. This is my 10th season, over 150 games. We know what it takes to get it done, and we will this week. And this comes off of a question that was asked about, okay, listen, they're bringing in other punters to try out during the week. None of them were signed, so they're going to stick with Riley, give him another chance in Week 5 against the Seahawks. But now he's having all this criticism come, like we've talked about it. There's a kind of it takes him a while to get the punt away. It's a slow windup. And listen, they can say it's not the case, but we can all kind of tell just by watching the games that this is a problem. And if that's what it takes for this guy to punt just 40 yards, we can get a different punter who can do that. These guys aren't, that rare. It just means our scouting team would really have to, work a little overtime to find the right guy to bring in. But in the meantime, we'll be rolling with him this week. He seems to have confidence that he'll be able to get around it. But at the same time, it's I just worry. I really do. If we are needing him to punt out of the end zone, if we're backed up and he has to punt out of the end zone, I'm going to be severely concerned. I mean, we'll be doing max protect and all kinds of different formations there, but I don't have a ton of faith in that sense that it won't be blocked into a safety or a touchdown or whatever. So if he has to punt, I really do hope it's at very least close-ish to around midfield, our own 40 or something, so we can pin them and not worry about it getting blocked. But we'll see. I again, still concerns there. Greg Allman did a little bit of a neat breakdown on Twitter. He did say, we don't go into much detail on Bucs personnel on field goal and punt units, but it's a good time to do so. Two very different groups. Punt team has to block, but be able to also run 40 yards downfield and tackle the returner. Field goal / point after touchdown team, PAT, is essentially a 7-man offensive line with 2 tight ends. It is very different. It's their jobs. It's like the punt return guys, they're supposed to hold up for as long as they can. If they, their job is to, block for as long as they have to and then immediately get downfield, because then the return team, they become the blockers. It's a really weird dynamic there, but it's just kind of how it works, is that the punt blocking team, and they know with us being vulnerable in this situation, they're going to come after it, and the Bucs might have to really enforce extra time into blocking rather trying to get downfield, which might be a bit scary. Whether that means that we need Riley to kind of not shank it, but line drive the punt instead of making it go high, shoot it low so that there's more of a chance that it bounces, maybe give some more time in that sense. You never know where the ball's going to bounce, for the other guys, the blockers, to get down and try and tackle him. But something about the strategy has to change. We'll see, but I do appreciate Amon kind of distincting or making a distinctive difference between the punt blocking team and the field goal blocking team, as you can tell in these pictures. And then he went on to say the first field goal / PAT line of 2025 had Heck, Chukuma, and Cody Mock on the left, with Klein, Gadecki, and Logan Hall on the right side. Barton subbed in for Gadecki versus Houston when Gadecki was out with his injury. The block versus the Jets had Haggard in for Cody Mock. and Bredesen in for Hall. With Keith gone, Nelson took his spot. And then later on, the most recent game versus the Eagles, the line was Durham, Klein, Chukuma, Haggard, Deckers, Bredesen, Barton, Heck, Nelson. Basically, Wirfs is the only starting offensive line not on that unit. Again, we'll see if they change personnel here versus Seattle. Lots of small tweaks and adjustments. Now, this lineup might not mean much, all these names to people. I do think it is interesting that Wirfs is not involved in, these these setups. Maybe they're worried that they don't want to overuse him and injure him. But at some point, though, with this being a major problem, it might be worth using one of the best offensive linemen in football in these situations to really help shore up that area. We'll see if he comes out there on the special teams unit this Sunday against Seattle. My guess is he won't, because they want to keep him just strictly for the offense and Baker. But I think specifically if bad things start happening again, which I do think is on the table with Seattle having a good defense, then Wirfs should be an emergency lineman put in that situation. We'll see, but it's with all the injuries we're facing, it feels like we're playing both careful and really trying to be creative with all the guys that we can bring in and just put them in different situations and just play to their strengths, whatever they end up being. But I'm not speaking with a ton of confidence because I'm not confident. I'm going to be completely honest. This situation makes me nervous. Special teams has a tendency to really, be a problem for teams. If you see a problem early, it's hard to get it totally fixed throughout the season. It's just one of those things, like you can fix a defense, you can fix an offense. Special teams, they're special for a reason. There's a lot more interesting details, like we've been talking about, just how I think if you don't have the right guys for special team, it's why that they chose one linebacker. I'm forgetting his name. It was Nick something. They chose him over like that really fan favorite linebacker that was doing really well in the preseason because he was really good on special teams. Sorry, the names are escaping me right now. But when they have a special team specialty, it can really go a long way. I mean, there's players in this league who really only play special teams, and not because they're bad players by any means, but because that is where they are able to make the biggest impact, where they can they tackle really well, they're good in pursuit, they're good staying in their lanes, and they're good blockers. Whatever it ends up being, I do think that maybe that's a personnel problem. It might be something that's worth considering. Maybe Riley. I think that the problems do lie also with Riley, like it's blocking mixed with Riley taking too long and maybe not punting the way he should be. The special teams coordinator not coaching the guys they need to be. Todd Bowles said that they were, observing everything and, they were willing to change whatever they thought needed to be changed. Doesn't look like much got changed this week. They brought a couple punters in, but those guys, I guess, weren't good enough. So we'll see what happens this week. But if we have another, blocked kick or blocked punt, especially for a score, I don't see a way that we don't get another new punter by next week. But I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping that we find a way to really avoid any of that. I will think that's an absolute win if we can get out of Seattle, one, obviously with a win, but also, avoiding any special team disasters. It's good that we have Chase making kicks again. 65 yards is crazy outdoors. So now, I have all the confidence back in him. But now there's this other part of it. We just need them all to play collectively as a unit and just try and play mistake-free football. I'm worried that, if we have good punting and a good field goal kicking, then we're going to allow someone to return a kickoff for a touchdown or something. I don't want to put that out in the universe, but it feels like they need to put a complete game together to really get that confidence back. But anyways, I want to ask you guys the question, how are you feeling about the special teams right now? Are we worried that, this is going to be a season-long problem? Do you think it can be fixed? In the short term, and do you think that they can turn it around, or do you think we just straight up need a new special teams coordinator and a new punter and just kind of go free ball it and really just do a complete restart in the middle of the season? Let me know what your solutions are, what your thoughts are in the comments below, and we'll keep updating you as things go along. Bucky Irving was confirmed; he's going to be out for the game, as will Benjamin Morrison, Isian, obviously Mike Evans. And I think that's it, but we'll see as we go along. Obviously, be here for the live stream, all that good stuff, and we'll see you then.